Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney. In 3, 2, 1.
Going on, everybody? Welcome back to BT Unleashed. And I'll tell you, I've been waiting for this one for a while. This is something I had circled when I was launching the channel. I was stepping out and I was starting the platform here. There were a couple of guests that I knew that I had to have on the show. And this man obviously was at the top of the list. And by the way, big thanks to Sullivan Papain and, of course, our new sponsor, Premio Sausage, which is new. And this guy, let's face it, I mean, certain people, you've got to run down the resume. You've got to let everybody know who you're talking to. You don't really have to do it with this gentleman, although I will out of respect. He is, without a doubt, the preeminent voice in sports. I don't know if he's ever heard me say this, but to me, he is this generation's Howard Cosell. And for a lot of reasons, with the reach and all the clicks and all the digital traction, he may have exceeded that. All right. And he is a friend of mine. I have known this gentleman since 2004. He is the great, the incomparable Stephen A. Smith. Stevie
What's
boy.
up, big time?
What's going
on, Big T? How you doing, baby? What's up, man?
I am doing well, man. My God, we were chatting a little bit down the line here. First of all, thank you for coming on, man. You good? Everybody okay?
Anything for you, man. I'm good, bro. Just on the ground. You know how it is. Everything's good, though.
How are the sisters doing?
The sisters are crazy. My sisters are crazy, crazy as ever in the whole bit. Carmen knows I'm doing the interview with you, so she told me to give you her love. She hasn't seen you in so long. But you know how my sister felt about you. So
I do.
All good, man.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I mean, it goes without saying, I'm obviously incredibly happy for your success. I'm not in the least bit surprised. So, listen, everybody knows you. When I do this, I had Michael on, Michael K,
right.
Patino. I'm going to have Boone on. So when I do these, it's not an interview, man. I want to talk about stuff that maybe others don't hear or they don't get to know or they just don't know about you from the day-to-day stuff that you do. So, and I don't even know if I know this. Like, for those who aren't aware of the start of our relationship, it was in radio.
Yep.
It was at 1050 ESPN radio.
Yeah.
You were a massive writer in Philadelphia covering the Sixers.
Yeah.
You started getting more looks and more run from ESPN. What I want to know is, before you actually became a writer, I want to know about little Stevie. I know little Stevie played hoops, and I know little Stevie was raised by a strong mom and a good man as a dad, and the house was run by the sisters here. Little Stevie, when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, what do you think at that point that you want to actually do with your life, Steve?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be a voice. I didn't know quite whether it was in media or whatever, but I knew I wanted to be a voice. I grew up, I had dyslexia. I didn't know it at the time. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had dyslexia.
Wow.
And so, when they had diagnosed me to that, they called it undiagnosed dyslexia. I don't know how they diagnosed it, and they called it undiagnosed. But my sister and my mother said that, and my sister Linda taught me how to read and write because I had gotten left back in the 3rd grade.
Wow.
Because I had a 1st grade reading level. I got promoted at the end of that summer, and then I went to the 4th grade in that September, completed it, and then got left back again, this time the entire year.
Really?
I had a 1st grade reading level. I just couldn't comprehend what I was reading. And so, because of that, at that particular moment in time, it was really harsh. All the kids in the neighborhood are laughing at you. Everybody know you got left back. You consider yourself a dummy and a whole bit. And then I heard my father telling my mother he's just not smart. He ain't gonna do anything with his life and stuff like that.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of what would easily be described as a tumultuous relationship that I ended up having with my father pretty much for the rest of his life. And, but my sisters and my mom were very, very supportive. And my sister Linda was an educator. So was my sister Carmen and Abigail as well. And my sister Linda taught me how to read and write. And then in the 7th grade, I think my life changed permanently because there was a parent-teacher night, BT. And there was a teacher that I had by the name of Mr. Caravan. And he looked at my mother and he said, "Your son thinks he's dumb. He's still hung up on the fact that he got left back. He thinks he's not comprehending." He said, "That's not the problem anymore. It's that your son drifts. He didn't hear a word." He said he gets bored very easy. He's not paying attention. And then you ask him and people think he don't understand when in fact, he just ignored you and didn't hear a word you had to say.
Wow.
What you have to do is find out what your son is passionate about. He said, whatever he's passionate about, I assure you, you will have a star in your hands.
Wow.
When he said that, I knew it was sports. because sports was what I loved. Like,
Sure.
I didn't know baseball like you. One of the things that people need to know about my relationship with you, it started off when I was at 1050 ESPN radio and they brought me on there to host a damn show. And I'm hosting I'm getting ready to host Quite Frankly across the street.
Yeah.
Was my television show on ESPN2. Plus, I'm an NBA insider for ESPN. Plus, I'm a writer for Philadelphia Inquirer covering the NBA. I wasn't watching no damn baseball.
Yeah.
I know the sport,
I know.
but I don't know the players like that because I'm not watching it. So I'm looking at the executives at ESPN Radio, and I'm like, have you listened to this guy talk? I mean, he knows damn sports, and he knows baseball like the back of his hand. I need him. I'm no updates guy. Let him be my partner.
See what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So that's how our relationship began. But before all of that, when the teacher said that, I started reading sports and I had no problem with comprehension. And all of a sudden, my confidence elevated. And as a result, my father's confidence in me elevated because he was a diehard Yankee fan who was running the streets and all of this other stuff and would miss games. And he'd come home looking for me to tell him what happened during the games. And it got to a point where he was dependent on me to give him the 411 about what transpired during the game. And he was like, damn, the boy ain't dumb.
He's not, I don't have a dummy.
On the nose.
Hold on, let me take a step back. Let me just take a step back there because I didn't know this part. So as I introduced you, I know that your mom, very, very strong woman. And when she passed away, I was so sad for you because I know what she meant to you. I knew that. And I didn't know when you just said your dad was running the streets. Your dad was a street guy. I didn't know that.
He owned a hardware store up on 135th and Lenox, but in the same breath, he wasn't an active father. You know what I'm saying? I left a lot of stuff to my mother. And remember, I told you this one time when I met your wonderful dad. Yeah. I told you the one thing, it's the only time ever in my life that I'm ever jealous when I see a father and a son who's tight. I've never been jealous of anything else in my life. I haven't been jealous of other people's success, the money they make, the material affluence that they have available to them. I've never cared about any of that. The only thing in my life that I'm ever jealous of is when I see a dad close to their mom, and that was one. And now there's two things: Mother's Day. Mama's gone.
Mama's
so
gone.
For me, when I see Mother's Day is the worst day of the year for me because everybody is celebrating their mamas. And as much as I miss my mom every day, I really, really miss her on Mother's Day when I see everybody else celebrating it. So it hurts a lot. And I just go into a very, very dark place where I just try to stay away from people because I just know that my spirit is just not good and I don't want to bring anybody else down. But outside of that, before my mother passed away, the only thing that I was ever jealous about was a great father and son relationship because I knew it was the one thing I never had.
I got you. Going back to what you were saying about how your dad viewed you when you were young and the reading, the dyslexia, you've heard some boxers say, hey, like when I would get in the ring, I would see my dad because we had that kind of tumultuous relationship. So I was actually looking to knock out. I wasn't looking at so-and-so, Pacquiao or whomever. I know you're a big boxing guy, Mayweather. I was looking at my dad, which is a pretty sad way to go to life, but it's motivation for a lot of people. Your rise in the business, I mean, it seems like it's pretty fair to say that your dad it was almost like this love-hate thing where your dad's lack of belief in you almost kept fueling you to prove to him that you are what he at one point thought you weren't.
Well, that was definitely it. And then if you remember, I told you my brother had died in a car accident in the early 90s.
Yes, I did know that.
My brother, 2 months before he died, I was working as an intern at the Greensboro News and Record, being an editorial assistant, school lunch menus, birth listings, and stuff like that, agate material. Yeah. And then on my off time, they would allow me to write sports article covering prep football throughout high school, the Piedmont Triad area, in the Greensboro, High Point, area and stuff like that. And when I was doing that stuff, I just said, hey, it was fuel. It was no doubt about it. I'm going to do this. And my brother said to me, yo, he was a traveling salesman. They were at Georgetown. He asked me to drive from North Carolina to Georgetown, which is about a 5-hour drive, to come see him for the weekend. And I was there, and it was the last time I saw him alive. And he said to me, you're going to be a star. You're going to be a star on ESPN. He said, you're going to get to ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
He said, first of all, you're going to do what you're going to do in the newspaper industry. You're going to become a general sports columnist, and you're going to star one day on ESPN, and you're going to be recognized as one of the best sports analysts in the history of the business. He said, you mark it down. And so when he passed away in a car accident 2 months later, I made it a priority as fuel for myself that I wouldn't go to his gravesite until I had achieved those things. And then it was 1992.
Wow.
And in March of 2003,
Mm-hmm.
I was named a general sports columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. That October was when I was hired by ESPN as an NBA insider.
I remember
And
that.
when that happened,
Yep.
I went to his gravesite up there in Yonkers, New York. And that was the first time. It was 11 years after he had passed away. And I went the first time to see it, to his gravesite, just to tell him I did what he said I was going to do.
Wow.
Because I made it a point that I wasn't going to stop until I accomplished those things as a tribute to my brother.
Well, I knew he passed, and I knew how it cut you and hurt you. I didn't know about that. That's amazing. A decade later, you're fulfilling that promise.
11 years.
That's 11
years.
more than a decade. So, and the other thing, and I know that this means so much to you. It's changed now. The whole world's changed in terms of being able to have a voice here.
Yeah.
But when you were named the general columnist, there weren't many black general columnists at all. I think it was
21.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it was a little less. 21
in American history.
Wow.
In the history of this country, in terms of general sports columnists for major metropolitan newspapers and all of that, there were 20 before me, the Michael Wilbons of the world, the William Rodins, Kevin Blackstones, guys like that.
Sure.
I was number 21.
And you know, it's funny, and a lot of people inject rate. We're in a very strange place. It started with COVID. It's always, I mean, the world's always been twisted, but it was obviously amplified with COVID. I know you do a lot of politics. I'll ask you some stuff about that later. Not too much, but I'm going to ask you a couple of things.
Sure. Anything you want, you know that.
I got you. No, understood. I appreciate that, man. But one of the things, and I've said this about you, and I want you to say this because it's one thing when I say it and my audience believes it and they feel it and that, but I think it would probably be more meaningful from your point of view because you are a minority. One of the great things that you and I had when we got paired, and again, I was your update guy and you pulled me in and you stepped up for me and you basically told management, shut up. This guy knows what he's doing. I want him to talk for it.
Exactly.
That's
exactly what I did.
That's what he did.
That's right.
Because Stephen Hay had the juice and I didn't. But nobody was really talking about race and sports back then. They just weren't. And you and I had some of the most, for me, interesting, important conversations. No bullshit. No hyperbole here. Important conversations pertaining to race that I've ever had in my life. Because I remember you saying one thing to me. You said, "Beat this during a break." You go, "BT, the problem," and this is you talking to me. This is not me saying it. BT, the problem with too many brothers right now is that when they scream race and it's not applicable, when they really have a problem, no one's listening.
That's true.
And I know you remember saying that. That was a point where it was all sports. It was a totally different presentation. It was sports. And now we're here and everybody weighs in on politics and race and stuff. But you really were very comfortable very early doing that. And I'm curious, was that something that you guys talked about at the dinner table? Like, where did you get the freedom and the confidence to do that? Because it was natural for you.
I was always that guy. That I wanted white people to know you can disagree with me and don't have to worry about me thinking you're a racist because you disagree. Give me your perspective. I want to hear it because it's important to me that you know that it's okay. Now, if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong and I'm going to tell you why. But how are we ever supposed to get better as a society if we can't talk to each other?
Yep.
I don't believe that if you some white dude, for example, from the South, and I'm a dude that was born in the North, I don't expect you to think like me. I expect you to be different. I want you to know that what's okay and what's not okay. Like you're a white boy. You can't be spewing the N-word to a bunch of brothers.
I agree.
You can't do that. We can do it with each other.
That's right.
You do it, it's gonna be a problem.
No, I can't do it.
I'd be like, don't get comfortable enough to think you could do that.
I agree.
If as a white dude, you like, wait a minute now, what's going on here? Y'all are thinking this way. Here's the way that I'm thinking. What's wrong with what I'm thinking? Damn it, don't get mad at you. Answer the question. You making sense. I looked at you. I always knew you were smart as shit. There's no question about it. And you ain't scared. and you're unapologetic about where you stand. And oh, by the way, you'll fuck a few people up. You wasn't no punk now. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there going like this. Why should he be reticent about saying anything that he feels if it's coming from a genuine place?
Yep.
If he's willing to say, this is how I view it, tell me how I'm wrong, answer the question.
Yeah.
And I got upset because we live in a society and I come from a community. I'm a proud Black man. I love my peoples, but that don't make us right about everything. And when you can't talk to us because you're fearful of expressing things from your lens, how can we ever correct it? And if we don't want you to say anything, that means we don't want to learn. We just want you to parrot our speech and feel the way that we feel. No, I want you to know why I feel this way. I'm going to tell you why I feel this way. And then I don't mind you challenging me and saying, well, here's what I feel, and this is why. And I think that it's because of that I have so many people from all walks of life that are friends of mine, that we get along because they know, listen, if you cross the line, I'm going to let you know. But almost never have people cross the line because they know I'm willing to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
And if they say something and they come from a respectful position, but you just let me know what your lens is like and where that's emanating from, I think that contributes to building friendships that last a lifetime. And I think me and you are evidence of that because we've been friends all of these years.
No doubt. No doubt. Do you think that there's, this is a large swath, this is a generalization, and obviously generalization sometimes gets you in trouble, but I know you can handle any question. Do you feel that sometimes white people say things to placate Black people and they really don't mean what they say?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
I do too.
But I don't think that's everybody. I think it's a case by case basis, and you encounter people who do that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, and here's where it really hits home. It's because it's advantageous for them. They ain't doing it for no reason. They're doing it because there's a benefit to them. And those are people you don't trust. I mean, I got love for BT. It's somebody, if there was somebody that's sitting right next to you and I think he's a snake, BT knows I'm like, that's a snake. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Black or white.
But BT also knows I'm not talking about BT. I'm able to distinguish the difference. So what happens is that'll make BT look at that guy because he knows me. And BT, no, I'm not just saying that about anybody. If I say something like that, there's something about that guy that's going to raise your antennas because, you know, I don't walk around looking at somebody, oh, you're white, so here's how you think.
You don't. You know what? You don't know. You don't.
That's how you think.
I can't tell you how many, because a lot of people, especially going back to the days at ESPN, a lot of my friends who listen to the station, I mean, most of them grew to love you. But when I first started working with you, and these are some of my best friends who were at my wedding, they're like, they wouldn't necessarily say you were racist, but they're like, it doesn't sound like he likes white people or he's got this agenda. And I'm like, no. I'm like, guys, here's what you're doing wrong. You're listening to the volume. Okay. You're not listening to the message. You're not listening to the substance, because anytime your name comes up to me, because people know our history a little bit, right? Sure. I'll say, listen, this guy is one of the most open-minded and fair-minded people that I know. And I would even submit this to you. And that's why it was interesting when you said, I don't know, within the last month or so, that you would only run as a Democrat, right? Even though you lean politically conservatively to the right side and all those things that you obviously what you said. I almost feel like because you are fair, that there are a decent amount of Black people who almost think that you're not representing them the way that they think.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. They think I'm selling out. And when I give a damn, I'll let you know. I don't. and the reason
don't give a shit.
That's just not intelligent. I mean, it's like, well, wait a minute now. You know, first of all, let's understand something. Whether it's an advantage or a disadvantage, I'm different. My grandmother was white. My mother comes from a mixed marriage.
Yep.
I don't know anyone on this planet that loved me more than my grandma.
Grandmama.
Who happened to be a white woman.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, said to me, I know as a Black man that you've encountered racism and your family, your parents or something want to tell you. She said, from the white perspective, let me tell you as my grandson what racism looks like. Let me give it to you from this lens. And so not only did I get it, even though my parents really talked race, but not only did I get it from that, I also got it from her. And because I got it from her, I'm coming from a multitude of lenses. What that has done in assisting me in my approach to things, I've seen people who are white that made honest mistakes about race. That was not the intent, but it was taken the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've seen people that were vicious with their shit.
Yep.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they did what they did because they wanted to be offensive, because they wanted to feed and fuel the other segment of this population that would embrace that. And what I'm saying to you is that I'm blessed and fortunate to be one that doesn't get to assume the difference between the two. I've actually witnessed it because I've been taught it.
Yep.
And so when I see it, it's like, yo, if somebody sits up there and says, BT thinking this way, I'm the guy to pat BT. I'm like, come here, man. Let me tell you what you did wrong here. Because I know you.
Yep.
And I know that's not you. You're just a straight up cat. So if you say something, you don't mean to be offensive unless you mean to be offensive.
Yes,
if you mean to be offensive, you'll look the person in the face. You're a piece of shit. I don't like you. You. That's you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. That's who you are.
Yep.
I know that. And I get the difference. And I think that's helped me in my career, and it's helped me grow as a man.
This is a deep one for you. I didn't even know I was going to ask you this because I didn't know that we'd get as deep as we got right away. I thought we'd lead into some deeper stuff, but I knew we'd go wherever we go. No real boundaries here. But this is a deeper one, whether it's a religious thing or however you want to process this. You know, where we are, the energy, the anger, just as a country, as a world right now. You think you were placed here for a reason? Like, I don't mean that.
I think we all were.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. But your microphone's louder and your platform is louder than mine and pretty much anybody in the business. So your messaging is going to resonate more than mine. So that's why I ask you that question. You think so?
Well, I think, listen, here's what I would say to you. When you think about the society that we live in, okay, when you have the kind of reach that I have, what's the purpose if you ain't trying to do shit with it?
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose?
Yep, I hear you.
You should be about more than getting a check, doing your job and going home when you reach millions. In my case, billions. When they look at my YouTube stuff between First Take, Sirius XM, and stuff like that, BT, I've averaged over 2.5 billion views annually.
You try to depress me? I'm just starting here. I got 20,000 subs. I mean,
and that's why you shouldn't be depressed, because you're just starting.
I hear you. Yeah,
you're just starting. You trust me. You're gonna blow up. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is that those views and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You reach that many people. What purpose do you serve? I know for me, even though I can be a polarizing figure, I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to be in your face with what I feel and what I believe based on what's going on and what we're talking about. But I'm really not trying to polarize. I'm really trying to get you to see, yo, there's a different way to look at this. There's a different way to approach this. There's a different way to address this. If all it's about is somebody saying what they want to say and getting clicks because enough people viewed what you have to say, but you're not really trying to gain an impact, not trying to have an impact, you're just going to be one of many. I'm trying to be one of the few, and I go back to how we were talking when we first met. It wasn't just your clearly superior knowledge of baseball. Let's be very freaking clear. When it comes to baseball, I ain't got nothing on you. I know. You understand what I'm saying? I've always known that. You've helped teach me. You and my boy Jeff helped, and Dad. Y'all are the three primary teachers of baseball. Again, I've always known the sport. But what's going on in the sport?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, you and my boy Jeff. I lean on y'all more than anybody.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is that it wasn't just that. There was this edge to you that had a desire to say shit.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't just, all right, here's the subject that we're talking about.
No.
Let me get that out. No. There's a desire. There's a fixation on trying to send a message. And what I'm saying to you, that's why you've been in this business for years. Because that's what you're trying to do. And you've done it already, and now you're going to do it again. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Because that's just how it goes. It's important because you're not just trying to be one of many. You understand you are from the standpoint that a lot of people have this job.
Sure.
But you're not trying to be one of many. You're trying to stand out. Well, why do you want to stand out? It ain't just to get the money. It ain't just to have the title. It's for people to look at you and say, let me hear what BT has to say because I know he means it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I wanted to do, especially as a black man growing up in the streets of Hollis, Queens, having to deal with some of the challenges that I've had to deal with. I'm not just trying to say anything. I've always believed, I didn't know I was going to be this successful, but I always believed that I was going to be successful because I was like, I'm mission minded. You can't compete with me if you're just doing a job. You have no hope against me because it's not just a job to me. Like a perfect example is now I got my deal with ESPN. I got another deal with SiriusXM. I don't have to do a YouTube channel. I don't have to own my own production company. I don't have to try to build content. I don't have to try and be a curator where I'm discovering talent and stuff like that, which is what I'm going to get into down the line. I don't have to do these things. I'm doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because it matters. And I'm one of those guys. I'm 58 years old now. And I'm one of those dudes that, you know, legacy matters. You get older, it really does hit you, bro. When they tell you that it's about your legacy. I know for me that I want to leave, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I want to walk away, man, and I want to see cats that I helped along the way. Like, you know, that's my guy right there.
Yeah. Almost like a coaching tree.
Yeah. Well, listen, right now, for example, I grew up idolizing Bryant Gumbel.
Okay.
See you later, my man. I grew up idolizing Bryant Gumbel. Bryant Gumbel talks to me monthly. Who the hell would have ever thought that would happen?
Yeah.
I grew up idolizing Michael Wilbon.
Yeah, I know he's your boy. He's your boy.
That's
you love
man.
Wilbon.
You understand?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, you know, to be in a place where it's like, I'm like, damn, I mean, the access that I have to certain people and the things that they do to bestow knowledge upon me. I was with Kobe 3 weeks before he died. And Kobe and I were talking about doing a project together.
You guys were tight.
A party on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
You know, Kobe ain't doing that for just anybody.
I know.
It's stuff like that, you know, it lets you know along the way you're doing something good.
That's no question.
And that's what it's about.
I love it. That's an awesome answer, man. And it's an authentic one because I know you. I do sometimes sit back and I'm like, man, whether it's, you know, seeing you on Hannity, I know your buddies with Cuomo. So, you know, you hit both sides. You know, you stretch yourself really thin. Worry is the wrong word, but I put it out there. I want to flush through this a little bit with you here, Steve. I don't know what you do, you know, aside from back in the day when you were a single guy running around, which you always let us know that Steve liked to have a little fun. Like, you know, I get it. I don't know what,
but I got you.
Right. I don't know what you do to decompress. I know you don't play golf. You know, I remember that thing, you know, to lay off the weed. So I know you're not banging back a blunt, just chilling. Right. I know you're not a big drinker. Right. I know you're not going out and just hanging with the boys. Like, how do you really regenerate, man? What do you do to just shut your brain off and get back to where you got to get back to do what you do?
You know, 4 years ago, almost, I would not have had an answer for you. But when I got COVID, and it almost took me out of here. And I mean, it was really bad, bro.
I know.
And had COVID. I gave Carmen COVID because Carmen came to see me and she caught COVID from me. Carmen smokes.
Still,
unfortunately.
Okay. Gotcha.
Carmen was sick on a Friday. She was fine that Tuesday. I was in a hospital 3 times.
Jesus.
In the emergency room. And New Year's Eve, the doctor, I'm sweating bullets. I get out of bed and it's like I jumped into a pool with my clothes on. Hallucinations, all of this crazy kind of stuff. I go to the hospital to get treated. And this doctor, Dr. Blunt, I'll never forget as long as I.
Wait, Dr. Blunt?
Dr. Blount.
You got to laugh at Dr. Blunt. Come on. I know, but you still got to laugh anyway.
Blunt, man. Dr. Blunt.
Yeah.
She looks at me and she says, you see this right here, and it's a white spot or whatever. And, you know, if it's on your lungs, that means you have pneumonia. BT, my lungs looked like clouds in the sky. It was completely covered. It was completely covered. Barely breathe, was really struggling. And she said, you're in trouble. She said, here's the deal. We're going to try this steroid and this antibiotic. Because I had gone, it really came because I went to the hospital because I was getting a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. And while I was in there was how I got COVID. So this was some complication, a mixture of COVID with that stuff. Okay. And she said to me, she said, we're going to try this steroid and this antibiotic. Now, by this time, it's 2.5, almost 3 weeks later, after I first got COVID. And she said, if this doesn't work in 3 hours, we're gonna have to call your family.
I didn't know it was that bad.
And I never, it was that bad. It was that bad. And my girl was with me and she just broke down crying because she said I had given up. Like I was resigned to the fact that this was it. I'm on my way up out of here because I had been to the hospital already 2 times and everything they was doing, nothing was working.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming back. And the reason why that she had the impression that I had given up was because BT, I wasn't in the greatest of shape, but like you said, man, I don't do drugs. I'm a casual drinker at best. I don't smoke. You know, I'm like, what the hell you talking about? My vices is Skittles and Crunchberries. You know? I mean, what are we talking about here? How the hell am I in this? I could not believe it. And I literally was like, F it. If it's my time, it's my time. And that's when my girl just broke down crying because she thought I had just given up. And I was on my way out of here. 3 hours later, BT, I don't know what the hell they gave me. I'm on my tip. I'm jumping. I'm like, I feel great. You know, I'm great. You know, and so it made me, those 3 hours was the scariest of my life because I really thought I was on my way up out of here.
Wow.
And you know, when I reflected on that, I remember going on Instagram and watching a video of Dana White.
Okay.
And Dana White, who I happen to know, he would walk around, had a little hunchback. He was pudgy. You know what I'm saying? Clearly looked like he was on some stuff. Didn't look right or whatever. And next thing you know, I'm seeing him on this video. The brother got a 6-pack.
Yeah, he
six-pack.
whipped himself into shape. Yeah.
Looking in major shape.
Yep.
And Dana and I are pretty cool. He was really pissed at me because he didn't know I was that sick. You know, because he had connections to the hospitals and all of this other stuff. And he was like, how come you didn't tell me, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yo, man, I'm calling you because you got a damn 6-pack. How the hell that happened? I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I got to see. What the hell? And he said, hold on. And he put me on a 3-way with a guy by the name of Gary Brecker.
Okay.
Who's the 10X Health. He's now, or if you go online, you'll see him, his brand. He's no longer with 10X Health. Now it's the Ultimate Human. Is what he's saying, right? And he's all into that anti-aging thing and stuff like that. And Dana said, get Steven to you and do what it takes to help him and get him right. And Gary said, I'm going to send somebody to take your blood work. Can you get to Miami in a week?
Hey, yeah, I know you love Miami, so it's not a tough question.
Come on now. You ain't got to tell me. To Miami? Hell yeah, I can get there. I'll find a way, right? So I go a week later. He sent somebody to take my blood, one of them Quest, whatever it is, that take your blood and stuff.
Quest Diagnostic, probably.
That's it. Quest Diagnostics, right?
Yeah.
And then I go there a week later. And he says, as humans, we've got 5 markers, the mitochondria, the cholesterol, all this other stuff. He said, every one of your categories is messed up. You're in a bad spot. And if you remember when Gary Brecker had done that video with Dana, what made it famous was the headline. He told Dana he had 10.4 years left to live. He calculated it. So he looked at me, and the one promise I made him make: do not tell me how much time I got left. You ain't God. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I want to know it. Don't tell me anything. Just tell me how bad I am, but don't tell me how much time I got left.
Yeah.
And essentially, he let me know everything that was wrong. The first order of business, something you never knew. Since I was 19 years old, there wasn't a single day in my life until I was 53, I guess now. There wasn't a single day in my life that I did not wake up with a headache. Damn near migraines every single morning for over 30 years. I would work my way through it because remember, as a beat writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer and everything else that I was doing, I didn't have to jump up and get out of bed to go into rush hour traffic and get to work. My day would start like at 10 o'clock. So if I woke up at 8, I'd have a little while to simmer down and gradually get out of bed and work my way into a work day. So that helped me immensely, but I always had these headaches. He said most people think they're hydrated. They're dehydrated. He said they think they're dehydrated because of water. He said, Steven, that's not it. You don't have enough sodium. He gives me something to put sodium in the water.
Yeah.
I've had 5 headaches in 4 years.
So you believe in this stuff, obviously.
I had
goes without
5
saying.
headaches. I had 5 headaches in 4 years. Well, it's not just believing in it; it's in concert with my doctors. It's like,
Yeah, of
he's not
course.
pointing out stuff. My doctors, general practitioners, this is your problem. This is your problem. And then he said to me, and then I was skinny, no definition, pot belly, pot belly.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
I
had a
was.
little
It
belly
was-
there,
it was-
Steve.
That's right. That's right.
You did.
All of a sudden, I'm
Yeah.
at 208 pounds, BT.
Mhm.
No muscle.
Uh-huh.
208 pounds. Body fat was at 29.8%.
Oof. And you got chicks that way? Well, you had money, so yeah.
Well,
of
you know,
course,
it
man.
wasn't the money, my brother. It's not like- but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying to you, it was like 29.8%, and I was like,
Jeez.
oh my god. And so
That's rough.
and he said to me, your blood is swimming in sugar.
Mhm.
All you do is eat sugar.
Yeah, you do. You love
all
your
your life.
candy. I remember
That's
it.
right. Exactly.
Okay.
So he said, okay, put me on a supplement protocol, my vitamins, and I did my Pilates, not Pilates, the Peloton bike, and the assault bike. I did those 2 things and cut back the sugar and took the supplements that he told me to take.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw my stomach going down,
Oh, yeah.
everything changed.
But that's how
Because
you decompress? That's how
No.
you think
No.
about that. Like that's how you stay healthy.
Right.
How do you just shut your brain off? Because you're always involved in a radio beef or you're always on the air. You're always involved in
What
something.
happened was, I'm telling you, as my friend, that story, because your boy that you used to see eating Crunch Berries, Skittles,
Yeah, you ain't like
honeycombs,
shit, Yep.
Snickers,
Yeah.
all this other stuff. BT, I work out 5-6 days a week.
You look good. Yeah, you look
Work out
good.
5-6 days a week. My body fat is at 10.5%, bro.
You know what I noticed it, Steve? And I've noticed that you've lost weight. And I know you're into boxing. I know you had some shoulder issues too. I know you're doing a lot of stuff. I noticed it when you were throwing money at Whitlock the other night. When you were sitting on the desk and I was at hundreds. I don't know what you were throwing at Whitlock. By the way, throw them at me.
It was money. It was
Yeah.
money. It was figured. I picked it up right as soon as the segment was over.
Yeah.
But
But
bills that I threw out there. But I get you. But it was like,
but you look good. I could tell.
yeah,
I could tell.
I'm on it. And so ever since that, my whole life has changed because it's like I'm in the gym, I'm taking care of myself. And then this is the big thing about me. I'm not a partier.
I know. At all.
To me, a partier, a party is being with my family, is being around my sisters,
Mm-hmm.
it's being with my nieces and nephews,
Yep.
it's being with my daughters, it's doing all of that, it's being with my girls, it's all of that stuff. It's not, I'm not out like that.
I know you're not.
So to me, somebody might go to a club, I'll go to a bar, I'll go to a lounge.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of stuff. And to me, it's real simple. Being around people that I love and that I like being around and talking to.
Mhm.
You know Sumatra and Juvie.
Yeah. I love Sumatra. She's
You know
phenomenal.
my sister Sumatra. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they that's my team. You know,
Yeah, I know it is.
they still here. What
Mhm.
I'm saying is being around folks. I've always been that way. Just being around the right people is good
Mhm.
enough for me. So
Well-
because we talking about different things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We
I got
it's
you.
Like, they ain't talking about work. We
know.
ain't talking about what's bothering. We sitting there shooting the breeze, catching track, telling jokes on one another,
Yeah.
talking shit. That's what we're doing. Me
Yeah.
and you talking right now. We ain't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
talking about work.
Yeah. Not
talk-
really. No, we're talking about
That's what
life
I'm
more than
saying.
work. It's
That's
true.
me. That's
Okay.
my life. That's how I wind down.
I look back, right? An interesting path. So Stephen in Queens with the dyslexia, trying to win your dad's
Yes.
approval, your mom, saint,
Yes.
saint, your sister, saints, just the way they insulated you. And the
Yeah.
streets in Queens were tough, especially back then. You stayed away from the drugs, stayed away from the
Yep.
crime, stayed away from the trouble.
Yep.
And then you found your path. I think now, obviously becoming one of the first 21st African-American columnists,
21st. Yep.
21st, becoming the 21st African-American columnist. That's obviously huge. And that's something that means more to you, I would think, than what I'm about to say. But when I look back at your career, I always think that the moment that your star began to ascend to a level that was different. What are you okay? You sweating, but
No. I just look greasy because of the makeup. I just been doing my show. That's all.
You're out of you. I get it. You're out of your mind. What, generous soap operas? Which show, by the way? You got to specify.
Sirius XM.
I know. I'm
Radio
just teasing.
show. Yeah.
I thought, and I was there when this started for you, and I was actually a guest because I think Shaq had to cancel. Somebody had to cancel.
Yep.
When you started, quite frankly, that's when I said to myself, holy shit, this brother's taking off. They are investing money. I remember going to your studio across the street from 2 Penn, and they had that logo like with you in your suit standing there, the studio audience. I'm like, they are investing real money behind Stephen A. Is that the point where you look back and say, maybe there were more important moments in terms of things that meant like more important to you, but that's where you exploded as a national star? Was that it?
For me, you know, I guess you could say that. I didn't look at it that way because it was scary for me because I never had hosted anything before. And then if you remember, Mark Shapiro, the former boss at ESPN, who's now the president of William Morris Endeavor, TKO specifically, you know, he had brought me on to, and he created that show and gave it to me, but left a month later after Daniel Snyder put him to run Six Flags.
I remember that.
So it was always a challenge as it pertained to that, no doubt. I think that where I knew that my star was rising was when I was named the general sports columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer, because that opened the floodgates for me to give my opinion. You got to remember, everybody, they can't imagine it now. They see it now. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got a YouTube channel, and, you know, you got all of this stuff going on, and everybody's free to give their opinion. Back in the day, that wasn't the case.
I know.
You got to remember the columnists were allowed to give their opinion. You gave your opinion on talk radio because of Mike and the Mad Dog and the platform that they created and what it did for the industry. But for the most part, you didn't have a bunch of opinion makers out there because that wasn't what the industry was financing. And so because of that, you know, for me, when I became a general sports columnist, I knew it was going to open the floodgates for me to give my opinion, because once it was confirmed that I was licensed to do that as a newspaper columnist, you couldn't stop me in radio or television.
Yep.
And I knew that. And so that's when I sensed that it would that it was going to another level. Now, obviously, ESPN comes along and you get paid $75,000 a year, and then after that, you go from that to $225,000 a year. You're on television now and stuff like that. So you know it's a difference, and you get that part. But it had to start somewhere. And for me, it started with the Philadelphia Inquirer naming me as a general sports columnist.
You know, you've always said, like you just mentioned Mad Dog, right? And I feel not that it really needed it, but I thought what he injects to First Take is great. I think he's great for you. He's one of one, like you, one of one. But I think you guys are very different in this regard, and it's more about you, but I want to at least set this up. Sure. I don't know Chris very well. I've seen him at some Final Fours, and like he's always Mad Dog. Like he's always on. He's always wacky. He's always crazy. He's always irreverent. He's just a nutball, and I mean that in the highest possible way. It's a massive compliment. You are different. And now I know both sides of you. I've been on a show with you when the lights go on. Bang! There's Stephen A. becoming Stephen A. And I've also been with you when there's no cameras rolling, and you're a little more, I wouldn't say reclusive, but certainly a little more withdrawn, and you don't just roast up. Okay. So your natural, tell me if I'm off base, your natural personality is one more, you know, kind of in the corner, in the cut, observing, and then chime it in when you've got something really important to say. Yeah. Not just walking into a room and taking over the room, but because of how the public knows you, they think that that's who you are. So in a lot of ways, you kind of have to wind yourself up for First Take. Am I right with that, Mike? And if so, is that exhausting?
No, it's not exhausting, but only in this sense do I have to wind myself up. It's television. And so those lights come on.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody says, I don't give a damn. Like they'll see me 2 minutes before a show, and I'm like this.
Yeah, I've seen it. Oh, I've seen it.
And then the light come on.
Oh, yeah, it's
boom
time.
Because it's like, wait a minute, thousands, if not millions, are watching. And they have an expectation. You asked them to watch you. You understand? You asked them to have these expectations. You got to answer the call. And so for me, it's not a fake thing. It's that because the beauty of what I do is that I'm the executive producer of First Take, not just the star.
I know.
So as a result, I dictate content. Like if I don't want us broaching a subject, the only way that subject's going to be broached is the president comes downstairs and say, we doing this. If the president don't say it and I say no, damn it means no, because I run the show in that regard. And that doesn't mean that the producers don't do their job, because I don't micromanage like that. 99 times out of 100, I got great producers. They do a phenomenal job. Do what you got to do. That 1% I put my foot down, my foot's down. That's where it's going to be. So knowing that, there's a responsibility that comes with it, because even though I'm letting them do their thing and they deserve it and they've earned it and they're all going to be stars in this business for years to come, the bottom line is the buck stops with me. If something goes on at First Take, I'm going to get blamed. A matter of fact, I get labeled for a bunch of stuff that ain't my decisions. You see people come and go. There's people, I ain't having anything to do to get rid of them. You understand? The boss has made that call, but it takes the boss in order to supersede my decision.
Which, by the way, Steve, I think is a common misconception about how First Take has been run. I mean, and Max is a very different entity, and I know you talked about Max, obviously. Yeah. But I think that everybody thinks like, oh, wow, so-and-so was on First Take, now they're gone. Stephen A. said, get out. And you're saying that's not the case. That's not
true. It was true with Max.
Yep.
It was true with Max. All right. And listen, I don't run from that. And I would rather tell Max to his face. Max is a good guy, bro.
Yep.
Max is a brilliant dude. He's a very good guy. I have nothing against him as a person at all. I didn't think we were good debate partners because I understood, based off of what Skip and I had, what the audience was looking for. And I thought we spent years not giving that to them. You know, there's got to be some friction. If BT and I, we have morning meetings. There were times when I was out on the West Coast. Skip was like, man, get some sleep, bro. You need some rest. You know, I'll see you at 7 o'clock. He had it. Yeah. You know, because we didn't have to talk. We are diametrically opposed on certain things, on most things, me and Skip. Max and I, it was a struggle to find disagreement. And so what happens is that compromises a debate show, and it takes away the zest and the passion that must emanate from you in an authentic way that the viewer is looking at it and saying, we're getting what we tuned in for.
Yeah.
And I remember I said this to you one time. If you were doing First Take with me, you would know, because BT and I will argue about a freaking piece of cake.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yeah. Well, what the fuck you waiting for? Put me on one day. I'll come in there. I'll yell.
I will. I got no problems with that.
What are we waiting
for?
Saying, but I couldn't. We're going to get me on when I'm 66 years old and the show's on its last legs?
Yes, all of these.
Come on, man. Yeah, I know.
You keep forgetting you was at the opposite network. Nobody tell you to go to opposite network, damn it. That was your call. But the point that I'm making to you is that, you know, it's not hard for you and I to find something to argue about. It was hard with us. That's all.
I got you.
Nothing. I would never tell you he doesn't deserve to be in the business. He's phenomenal on boxing. He's good people. We just didn't work in my
Understood.
That's it.
Talented guy, smart guy, a brilliant guy.
I think Shay, I think I'm lucky and fortunate to have Shay, Cornette, and stuff like that. But you know, Molly being gone, that wasn't me. You understand?
How much do you miss Molly? I miss Molly. I thought she was awesome, man.
I miss Molly because I love Molly.
Yep.
As a person, as a friend. You understand? I know what kind of a woman she is, what kind of a person she is. And so because of that, I don't look at her as just a host. I don't look at her as just a colleague. Man, we worked together for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time in TV, man. That's a long time.
You know, so it's like nobody's going to ever come and say something negative to me about Molly Kieran. I will always support her because it's beyond the professional. It's personal because I got a lot of love for her because she's good people, you know, and I know a lot that she's been through, and she knows I'm always here for her. There were other people that came and went on the show. Nah, that was, you know, I didn't make that call. But you have to understand, but that's the part that'll piss you off as you do YouTube and as you do this stuff. There's some people, listen, when you don't know, you don't know. But there are people in this business that got their shows. They some lying motherfuckers, excuse me. I mean, they really, really are. They know better. Yeah. They know what comes along with the business. They know that there's certain things above your head. Dave Roberts is my boss. Burke Magnus is my boss. Jimmy Pitaro is my boss. Ain't no negotiation. I could say what I want till the cows come home. Their decision matters within the walls of ESPN and Walt Disney, not mine. Yeah. Deborah O'Connell's the boss of ABC. Dana Walden's the boss of Disney. Josh Tomorrow, who's the new CEO. Man, I answer to them. Bob Iger was there. Yeah, I'm living nice. Life is kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice contract. That don't happen without Bob Iger. Oh, no, bro. You got to get that okay. I don't give a damn what they wanted to do. If Bob Iger said nix that, it gets nixed.
Done.
Period.
Yep.
Done. Yep. And it's like, There are people that have shows that are in our line of work, BT, and watch as you climb. Watch how pissed off you're going to find yourself when people start talking about you. And what's going to piss you off is not the insults. It's not the disagreements. It's how you know it's personal and how you know they lying because they know the business and they know they ain't telling the truth. But they will sit up there and say it anyway because it creates clicks,
money,
it creates drama,
yeah.
It gives them money. And on top of it all, they may not like you, so they want to paint a false image about you too. All of those things are stuff that if you were younger, you'd probably be waiting outside for.
Yeah, it would be different. I'm with, yeah, I got you. I was wrapped up in some shit last week, man. Trust me, I know, man.
Yeah.
And I don't have radio beefs, but I was pulled into some stuff, and I get it. Well, and listen, that leads me to this here because, you know, you're a dad. I mean, everybody wants a piece of you, you know, First Take, talking politics, doing your own show, doing your serious show, you know, being connected, still having, you know, connections in the NBA like you do. How do you have time for radio beefs? And I did, we're just content beefs. Like, it almost seems like you enjoy it. It seems like you relish it. It seems like you, not that you look for the smoke, but there's a little teeny trace of smoke. You're turning this thing into a flame. Like, I think you love it. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. I don't love it. I'm just not scared of it.
Yeah.
These people don't scare me. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
I got it.
You think you can make some noise. Well, wait till you get a load of me. That's my attitude. It's like, yo, you really want this smoke? Let's go. Not only that, you also have to remember something that's very, very important. I'm glad you asked. It's a great question on your part. It might be work for them. It's very natural for me. It's not work at all. Let's take this into consideration. Remember, BT, I'm a columnist. I woke up every day having to decide what are people going to be interested in, what story is going to resonate. Before that, I was a beat writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer and an NBA columnist. Every day you're waking up, you have to give the folks a story in the newspaper. So what doesn't come natural to most people, what folks are trying to manufacture and create to swell interest, is what I've been doing in the business for 30 years. Every single morning I wake up, my instinctual attitude is what's percolating, what's resonating, what's going on in the world. So when somebody is coming at me, oh, thank you. You actually gave me something. I didn't have to look for it.
Yeah.
This is what you want to do. It's like, it's very natural to me to do it because I've been doing it my entire career. It's an effort for me to avoid topics. It's an effort for me to say, I'm not going there. I'm not going to feed that beast. I'm not going to play into that. That's where the effort comes in. It's not in doing it. It's in not doing it.
The restraint.
Because doing it comes very natural to me.
So aside from your work ethic, it seems like you're saying, you know, your best characteristic is probably your editorial sense, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, look at First Take. First Take is a 2-hour show. Take away commercials. You're talking anywhere from an hour and 38 to an hour and 42 minutes of content. That's what you're talking about, BT. All right. We're talking about 12 to 15 different subject matters. Every morning, I'm a part of formulating what comes on 5 days a week. So we're talking about, in all likelihood, on average, 15 subjects per day.
Jesus.
BT, I'm doing 75 subjects a week. That's why it makes me laugh when people say, oh, you're always talking about LeBron. Oh, you're always talking about this. I'm like, I do 75 subjects a week.
Now you do talk about LeBron a lot. I mean, get up with the LeBron. You can't shine MJ shoes, LeBron.
Well,
I'm getting tired of LeBron. LeBron, come. I don't want LeBron on the Knicks. Enough of LeBron James, by the way. I'm done with LeBron.
I can talk about LeBron James 5 days a week. Do you understand that's still 5 subjects?
Yeah, I get it.
What about the other 70?
I got you.
So what I'm saying is if you look at the totality, it's just that stuff resonates. So LeBron's going to resonate. I just talked about the Atlanta Hawks. Who cares?
Nobody. It doesn't matter what you say. You can make the most salient point. It doesn't matter what you say about the Hawks. I guarantee the digital traction, the rating,
there you go.
It is all down.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Exactly. And in our business, talking about me is going to give somebody numbers. Talking about others ain't. So I understand what comes with it because I do it. I'm just simply saying that if you go do it, have some level of integrity.
Understood.
I'm not getting into somebody's personal life. You know me, BT.
You never do that.
Listen.
Never.
Years ago, when I went at Tiki, because Tiki said something. It wasn't personal.
Nope.
I disagree with him, but I didn't attack him. You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
My point is, I'm not doing that to you, bro. You don't deserve that. I'm not that guy.
No.
It's very rare in the day. You might see me go at Whitlock and his sorry ass.
Yeah,
but
you've
that's
done
about
that.
it. You don't see me really. No one has ever seen me go after somebody in the business like that.
Were you ever
I
cool?
don't do that.
Were you ever cool with Whitlock at all?
Yes.
Like
that's
tight,
the point.
tight?
No, not like
Okay.
that. But
All right.
what I'm saying to you is that he was in the business. So there are things he has done. If you've noticed, you haven't heard a journalist say I was lying. When I highlight the personal shit that he has done to me and others, but it's not me why I go at him. I go at him because of all the damage he has tried to inflict upon my friends and contemporaries and colleagues who don't have the platform, the reach, or the muscle that I might have to go at him. So I do it on behalf of the people he's attacked.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to go overboard, like keep doing it because he ain't worth it. I don't even want to bring him up now, but I'm saying it to you because you're my boy. I don't do that.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I mean, there's so much personal shit that I know about people. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say, none of my business.
Yeah.
I don't roll like that.
Yeah.
I might disagree with what you say, but I don't disagree with who you are.
That's a good rule, man.
And I'm not going to attack you personally. But he and I, that shit is personal.
It is. Oof.
You understand? It's
ugly,
personal
man.
because of some shit, because of a lot of shit that he did that none of y'all will ever know. But what I would say to people is this: when I called his ass out over a year ago, how many people do you know go at somebody like this? I named bosses by name at various networks and dared folks to ask them.
Now you came with some receipts, man. That thing got ugly fast.
That? Because I have the facts. So I'm sitting there like, you can talk about what you believe. You can call me a fraud and all this other bullshit, but I know what you did. And I know who you did it to. And I know why. And so because of that, it's like, I'm only using that as an example to say it's an extreme case. It deviates from who I am and who I'm known to be. I don't do that. I'll come to my own defense. But what I won't do is attack people. Him, I attacked.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's on.
I'm not finished.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll stop now.
Don't stop now. I mean, come on, we'll get some more hits on my show. By all means.
No, I'm saying what I've done recently.
I got you.
But fuck with me.
Yeah.
Trust me. I'm just getting started. You see what I'm saying? Because it's personal.
I got it.
It's just letting people know that with the LeBron thing, it was personal.
Yeah.
Like when you roll up on me courtside, I'm over it. It's life. We move on.
I know.
I don't hate the brother, whatever. But what he did, that was personal.
I know.
I didn't do what he was trying to say that, and you know it.
I found
he was just using it as an excuse to come at me for what he personally felt. And I'm like, all right, so it's gonna be personal. Let it be personal. And you saw me the next day after he went on the Pat McAfee show.
I remember.
An 18-minute monologue on him.
Jesus, man,
and by the way, I had more. So it was like, we could do this. So because it was personal.
Yeah.
And if you don't get personal with me like that, you don't have to worry about me doing that to you.
No, you've always been rooted in good. And I mean that. You've always been rooted in good. And I think, listen, you don't take this the wrong way. You're probably wrong than more people because you're on the air more than, most people. But you own up when you mess something up. And I want to get back to that in a minute. But you've always been rooted in fact. It goes back to being a writer, obviously. And I remember, man, God, I heard this from you so many times, and it used to drive me nuts because I really had nothing to say back. This was on and off the air. Like you and I always talk, Nick. I know you're boys, but I think you're still boys with Isaiah, right? Still boys with Zeke? Okay. Yeah. Good dude. Isaiah, good dude. And this, like, the Knicks were just dog shit. Eddie Curry, Stephon, Q Rich, God almighty, God. Awful. And I remember, like, I was saying things that were, partially rooted in fandom, even though I was doing the Knicks pre and post. I knew a little bit. I didn't know what you knew, admittedly. And you would say, like a dad that I had nothing else to come back with. You'd say, BT, I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know.
That's
And
right.
when you would say that, I'm like, this motherfucker, man. Where am I going to go from here? What am I going to say? So you've always been rooted in trying to express yourself for something that is factually based and not some erroneous, nonsensical, inflammatory take.
Sure.
With that being said, I do want to ask you this on a serious level, right? When you mess something up, and we all do it. I mean, when I mess it up, not many people react because I'm not you. But when you mess something up, I mean, every website is, even though they respect you, they're making a mockery of, oh, look what Stephen A said about, I don't know, a baseball player, whatever it might be, something basic. Right. Maybe you messed up. Does that bother you? I know you make a ton of money, but doesn't that bother you a little bit?
Well, of course it but understand what bothers me. What bothers me is that I messed up, not that somebody's pointing it out. See, in other words,
that's kind of what I mean. Go ahead. That's what I meant actually. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this, but I also understand when it's petty.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I sat up there and I say, you know what, BT and I were together in 2008, and it was 2004. Well, damn it, I forgot in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So people, when you make a headline out of that, I'm like, all you're doing is showing me who you are because you're reaching. You see, because something like I talk for 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the afternoon, damn it. It's like, I'm going to mess up. I got stuff on my mind. I made the mistake with the New England Patriots offensive coordinator, giving him credit when he had gone for the year, right?
Yes.
But BT, I covered the story when he stepped away from the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly I knew. I just forgot because I had a bigger point I was trying to get to Ryan Clark about. So I'm like, okay, you want to bring up that you want to say I didn't know, but there's footage of me talking about the damn subject 3 months earlier when it happened.
You got to keep track of this stuff, man. That's on you, buddy.
So I forgot. I'm just saying, but I forgot because I'm going at him because you're in the throes of a debate.
I know.
You ain't got shit on your mind like that about you going somewhere else and you not here. Okay, I slipped up. Y'all don't do that. Okay, fine. You want to act like you don't do that. That's why. Come over here and debate 2 hours every single day.
I get it.
Of the week for 45 minimum weeks.
Understood, man.
Let's see what you do. So I don't worry about it.
Okay.
I just know that if you give them ammunition, they will come at you. And here's how you have to do it. You got to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be an adult. Yo, I messed up. My
bad. My fault.
Period.
Yep.
No, I'm not giving you any ammunition. I ain't lying. I'm not going through all of that. Man, I messed up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's simple. Okay. And it's easy for me to admit I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. I would agree. I would tell you if I disagreed. I really would. I do agree with that. Let me ask you this, and it's public record. I'm not going to say it because it's tacky, but we all know that basically the neighborhood of what ESPN pays you, and it's a ton of money, and you've earned every penny. When you make a mistake like that, in their eyes, that is basic. Even if you knew it, but you said it wrong, do they ever come and say, "Steve, come on, we got what are we doing here?" Like, do they ever circle back to you at all? Like, let's clean that up. Go ahead.
Because there's never been a mistake that I've made that hasn't been corrected within minutes. It's just that people live on that. Okay. And when you're hosting a show and you do as much stuff as I do, think about it. What don't we talk about? We talked about golf the other day with Tiger Woods. We talked about NFL, we talked about college football, college basketball, pro basketball, got into the WWE, UFC. I mean, damn, it's a lot of stuff. Yeah, and you got to remember, it being my show, everything evolves around me. So I'm debating everybody. It's like the world against Stephen A.
True.
Yo, bro, I'm not perfect. and the key is that I'm going to be right most of the time in terms of my facts. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, I'm not going to hesitate to admit that I'm wrong.
It's a good rule.
If I was wrong and I messed up, it's no problem. Case corrected. We move forward. Because far more often than not, I'm on point with my facts.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you disagree with my perspective,
yeah, for sure,
the facts are there.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand for the life of me. And this is, well, let me preface it with, outside of trying to change the world and do good, which is incredibly admirable and massive respect for that. But why in the world, and I know you said you're not going to do it, why in the world would you want to pull yourself into the freaking mud of politics, bro? Why?
Well, let me start.
Why?
Let me answer that question first with a question to you.
Go ahead.
Because I promise you never thought about this until I said
well, you don't know that. But let's see.
I promise you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me when, from the moment you met me, I haven't talked about politics.
No, matter of fact, you've always, even when you got let go by ESPN, you popped on 77 WABC doing political commentary. No, I know it's always been a part of
what I'm saying to you
your world. I know.
You knew it. You knew me doing it when it was a hobby.
Yes.
Because and remember when I told you this, I said to you, the Super Bowl is one thing. But something very close to me, and it blew you away when I said this to you, something very close to me is presidential debates.
You love them.
It's like a Super Bowl to me.
Yes.
I love this stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that I'm an aficionado, that I study it like that, but I follow current affairs. I follow current events, and I love hearing different opinions about those things. So the politics thing came about because as a black man, one of the things that has gotten to a point where it's really pissed me off is this notion that we're supposed to think a certain way politically with an ideological tilt just because we're black. That really, really bothers me. Because what happens is that I've often used this as an analogy. So if I'm supposed to be Democrat no matter what, you have a license to take me for granted because you're getting over 80% of my community's vote. The other side has they have the right to ignore us as a potential voting bloc because they'll never get us. And you wonder why we're the ones who are disenfranchised. Flatter me. If I go to buy a house or a car or something like that, or I want to buy new clothes, I'm going to look in the house. I'm going to test drive the car. I'm going to try on the clothes. I'm not just buying the shit. You got to convince me. But when it comes to politics, suddenly we can't do that. So if I run into BT and BT's a Republican, oh, he's white. If I run into a black Republican, oh, you selling out our community. I don't vibe with that kind of thinking.
I don't either, by the way, but this is about you. I agree with that. Keep going.
Because my whole point is I don't want you to have a license to take me for granted. I want you to have to work for my vote just like the other side would. I'm aware of everything from the New Deal to Jim Crow laws to the elections, the Fair Housing Act, civil rights, voting rights. The list goes on and on and on. I'm aware of all of these things. I'm aware of how we were once Republicans and we transitioned to the Democratic Party, particularly when civil rights legislation kicked in 1964. I realized the impact I had. I got a problem with you riding those coattails since 1964, thinking that we're supposed to look at you now and say, you got our back, when in fact, you're doing everything you can to try to let immigrants come into the country so you won't need our vote as much as you always have. I'm not fooled by any of this stuff. I see it. So when all of a sudden I'm talking about it, and then you got cats coming at me, and then you look at a party that's sending folks after you because they don't like what you're saying, all of a sudden you done started something. You think I'm backing up and I'm backing down from that? Hell no. Here I come. So then people start saying, oh, damn, you're a sensible dude. Why haven't you ever thought about running? Then I'm looking at this party and I'm like, well, damn, I could beat any of them.
Could be an opening.
I could beat any of these cats. That's how I'm thinking. Now, the reason, and I'm passionate about it. And then I'm imagining, what if I was the president? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sitting there like, I would look better in my blue suits than Trump or Biden did. That's for sure. I know that I can articulate myself well if I knew the issues. And plus, I know I'm fair-minded. So it's like, wait a minute now. We can't be hating on people that think opposite just because. What point do they have? Because I'm the kind of person that, in my perfect world, BT, I'd have two people for every position, every cabinet position, a Republican and a Democrat. Work the shit out. Come to me with the best idea for America. I don't want one-sided view. I want what works for both sides. Everybody can't have everything. Everybody got to sacrifice something. We $39 trillion in debt. Everybody got to sacrifice something, because I believe that the vitriol that they've had with one another, the polarization that they created, they've left for us as American citizens to deal with. I don't believe that if more BTs of the world and more Stephen A's in the world talked with one another, that we find ourselves on opposite ends of the spectrum like that. I don't believe that.
Steve,
I don't believe that.
I totally agree with you, and I'm going to put it in this direction. By the way, I'm not going to keep you a whole lot longer. I know you're busy, bro, and I appreciate the time. It's been over an hour. Okay. I'm good. So I fall asleep, and when you and I first met, I didn't do this, admittedly. I fall asleep to politics, and unless the Yankees are playing on the West Coast like last night, I fall asleep to politics every night. I watch Fox. I watch CNN. I bounce around. I like to get a little bit of everything. I've got one network that I gravitate to more that I don't feel the need to necessarily divulge for whatever reason.
Sure.
But I am fairly abreast of what's going on, and because I care about the next generation. I have kids. I'm a dad, all that stuff, right? And my mindset when I met you in 2004 was I was in my late 20s. I was in a different place. The point is, when you watch any one of these shows, right, you've got, one person coming on, like you've got the moderator. All right. You got one guy coming on, his 3 or 4 bullet points. The other guy gal coming on, 3 or 4 bullet points. Bing, 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 bing. It's like a tennis match. Everybody's volleying, but nobody's listening. So it's loud, and it's sometimes interesting, and sometimes it's combustible, and it's visceral, and it's energy, and it's monetizing the brand with all the clicks and all the other stuff going on. But we're not solving anything. That's the biggest problem. That's the problem.
We're not solving anything because we're on opposite sides and nobody's putting in the real work. All they're doing is they're literally getting elected. They don't even know the bills. I was on Real Time with Bill Maher last week on HBO, and
he's good.
I had Senator Slotkin, or she came on the show.
Okay,
she was like, "Oh, she said we don't even know these people don't even know what's in the bill. They just signed the stuff they haven't even read. This is what you're talking about." So I'm looking at stuff like this. I'm like, this is disgusting, and it's polarizing the nation even more. I had a pastor tell me the other day, we're in a worse situation as a people, as American people, than we have ever been. It's worse than it was during the civil rights era. That's what he said.
Did he say why? Did he say why?
He was talking about the polarization. He was talking about how divided we are. And he was like, how volatile we are towards one another. And they said it takes something special. So what happened is it was a pastor, it was a couple of elected officials and others that came to me and said, we support you if you ran. You should think about it. Now, I was thinking about it, and I was dead serious. I still am. Here's where the pause kicks in.
The money. He ain't giving up the money.
Well, that's right. Because what happens is, no, I would give up the money if I won, because we all know as president, I could get it back. Trump taught us that.
That's true.
But the point is that you, because of FCC equal time rules, you have to give it up just to campaign. So in other words,
gotcha.
I was informed, I was personally informed that the second I announce that I'm showing up on that debate stage, I immediately get pulled off the air. And
with no guarantee of winning, why roll the dice on that?
That's right. Now, I'm telling you, and I've said this before, I'm telling you to your face, don't let them come up with a way for me to be on that debate stage in 2027, and I still get to keep my check. BT, if that happens, I will be on that debate stage.
You think you could win? Do you think you could? I believe that. Do you think you could win?
I believe I can win.
I got to tell you, Steve.
The only candidate I would be worried about,
not crazy.
The only candidate I would be worried about is Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Because I think he's an adult in the room with obviously impeccable credentials. I can't knock that. I can't knock that. But I don't believe there's a Democrat out there that I can't beat. I don't believe it.
But I don't know if you'd get enough of the black vote, as crazy as that sounds.
I wouldn't get enough of it during the primary, maybe.
Okay.
But once you have to pick between me and the Republican candidate, what choice you have? You live in a binary system. And by the way, black folks can say what they want, whether you like it or not. I'm one of you. You're my brothers, you're my sisters. I ain't talking about this barbecue. You ain't invited to the barbecue. I have my own damn barbecue. It's a pretty nice one, by the way.
There's no doubt.
Damn barbecue. And not only that, as a black man, I'm accustomed to butting heads with my own people out of love. Yo, you wrong. Yo, you're not looking at it right. Yo, let's think about the big picture here. Sure, they're going to act that way. But what exactly is it that I haven't done in my career that looks out for black people? I hire black people. I get black people hired. I'm connected with HBCUs, not just as a graduate, but as an ambassador for HBCU Week. I donate my time, my money, my energy to causes that positively affect my community. So these few people in the black community that's making noise, acting like they got something on me. Like, oh, the black people don't like it. I saw Don Lemon. Lemon.
That's CNN formally, sure. Yeah.
Black people don't like you. So you speak for black people now. But I don't. Really? I'm not gonna go there.
I know. I got you. I got you.
But come on, bro.
No, I got you.
know,
I got you.
You got to be kidding me.
Okay,
So
but
it's like-
here's the
it's
thing,
that
Steve.
kind
Hold
of
on. I say backtrack for a sec. So I know you know all the topics, and you would know them even more because you would.
I'm
do
not
your
an
research.
aficionado.
I know
I
you're
got
not.
a lot to learn.
Neither was Trump. I get it. It's a different world, and I'm not even trying to be politically divisive now. But
Sure.
what I don't understand about you. Why would you want to jump into this shit cesspool? You make a ton of money. You got a great life. Even if you didn't become president, just by merely being up on that debate stage, you are opening your life up to being probed. And I'm not saying you're hiding anything, but I know you have daughters. Like do you really want that out there? You really want that invasive coverage in your world? I mean, you're already dissected like a lab rat as it is, man.
I don't. But I have nothing to hide.
I understand.
Make it up. They'll make stuff up. They'll
Yeah.
lie about me. They'll ridicule me. They'll do all of these things. But in the same breath, when you think about the power that one must possess to make a difference, think about that and ask yourself how much that means to you.
I got you.
Again, I'm not giving up my money and messing with my quality of life.
I'll hold it for I'll hold your money. I'll take care of it, man.
I mean,
you can trust me.
That's not happening. But in the same breath,
yeah,
I'm not scared of it. I think I excuse my language. I think these politicians have fucked this country up so bad.
I agree.
You understand? And what they've done for us, I think they're on the verge of pushing us into an abyss we're not going to be able to lift ourselves out of. And when somebody looks you in the face and they tell you you have the power to make a difference, that's one thing. What if millions said it? What if millions said? What if I jump on the debate stage, BT, and all of a sudden I'm at 25% in the polls and climbing, and millions are clamoring, we want Stephen A to run. We want him to be the Democratic nominee. Now, BT, you know this about me. You've seen me be kind and have love for people and pick them apart on a debate. Could you imagine me in front of politicians that I think have effed up this country?
Oh, I'd love to see it, bro.
And I'm on a debate stage to talk. Remember, BT, they have a record. I don't. I was never a politician. You could bring up anything you want about my personal life, all you want to. Lie about it, make up stuff, ridicule me or whatever. But eventually we have to get to your record and what you have done to our country. I know that I wouldn't be robbing American citizens. I know that I would care about the economy. I know that, listen, I vote liberal. I vote Democrat.
Oh, always? I thought you were more centrist, no?
No, I am a centrist, but I have voted. I'm talking about how I voted. I am a centrist. I'm a fiscal conservative.
That I know.
A social liberal.
Gotcha.
That's me.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
BT, we ain't having open borders on my watch. That ain't happening. That's why people say I'm really a Republican, because they think like that, because they hear me say this stuff.
Well, that's why I said I don't know if you get the Democratic vote, because
but again, who you gonna vote for? Because you saw what Gavin Newsom doing in California. You saw what Kamala Harris had a chance to do and mess that up. You go on The View. Is there anything that you would do differently than Biden? No, I can't think of it. Really, I can think about 10 things. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You look at Biden and he's up there, clearly didn't have all his faculties in order, but you got him up there. I'm going like this. Wait a minute now. Crime in the streets, you ain't getting out the jail same day. Oh, hell to the no. Open borders, oh, hell to the no. An economy that ain't being focused upon the American citizen. Because I know this much: if you're making money and you're having some modicum of success, you're gonna know how to act because you got something to lose.
Amen.
I know that. If you got nothing to lose, you're going to bring everybody down with the rest of you. So that's what I'm saying. It's like these kind of things. Now, that doesn't mean you can't help the desolate and disenfranchised. It doesn't mean that you got to be stingy when it comes to entitlement programs, but you can do a lot of other things to make sure you're looking out for the American people and not just yourself.
This guy's...
And by the way, if you, the TSA workers, you just spent the last month, denying them $1 billion in pay that you owed them, but found money, $800 million to $2 billion per day for a war in Iraq. Really? How you find that money? See, Stephen A ain't doing that. I'm going to find a way to slide that billion to those TSA workers. You ain't going to suffer while we doing this kind of shit. That's what I'm talking about. And when you talk like that, it's like, wait a minute. I'm not an aficionado on the issues, but I'm not blind and stupid either. I see what you're doing. and they ain't got to worry about me doing something like that. You're going to have somebody in the room that's looking out for you if I chose to do something like that. And I believe that is what would make me win, because the people that would be on stage against me, how you going to justify it? What argument are you going to make? You was up on Capitol Hill doing all of this shit while it was happening. All right. You took your vacation and got paid when you knew other people weren't getting paid and you had them working. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have been in Capitol Hill, and damn it, y'all ain't leaving either until these people get paid. Figure it out. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
I believe you, bro. My dad said to me, he's like, you think this about a month or so, I was coming back from St. John's. I taped the TV show with Patino, and that's like my day because I'm in traffic for about an hour and a half. You know where I live because you used to live here. Sure. Don't say it, but you know where I'm coming back to. And by the way, his house is obviously was a lot bigger and nicer than mine, although my home's okay. And I'm in traffic, so that's where I really catch up with my pops, about St. John's, about my children, whatever. And he asked me, and he's like, "You think Stephen A's going to really run?" And I'm like, you know what? I don't. At the end of the day, I don't. But if he ever gets up on that stage, look out, because he will slice people up, man.
That's exactly honestly, BT. I could give a damn about being in office. The reason why all of this is a subject matter that I don't shut down is because while I have zero interest in being in office, I'm telling you right now, I want to be on that debate stage against them so badly. I can't even tell. God,
I pay for this, man.
BT, you would not see me for a month. I would come off the air, and for a month, I would be hunkered down studying the issues backwards and forwards, just for the debate purposes. And I'm telling you, I would come for them like nobody has ever come for them before, because what they have done to us is really, to me, I'm not telling you racism doesn't exist, prejudice. I'm not talking about corporate America with the proverbial glass. I'm not saying any of those things don't exist. But to me, the problems that exist in this country are not nearly as bad as it seems. They've made it that way because they have forced us in this binary system to pick a side. And since they know we only got two sides, both of them don't mind getting extreme and pulling us apart more and more every day.
And the best thing, by the way, Stu, hold on. The best thing that you say by using the word us, that's a unifying word.
It's us.
I got you. All right.
It is us. When 9/11 happened, I didn't recall us bringing up black and white and everything else then.
We were like this. We were like one fist.
I was literally like this. I literally went like this. These motherfuckers have attacked the United States of America.
Us.
We got to get them.
Yep.
We got to get them. Literally, that was my attitude.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything but America at that moment. And I'm going like this. Somewhere along the way, even with our differences, we got to get back to that.
I love that, man.
I had a problem with Gavin Newsom. Like when you were complaining about Trump, go ahead and complain about him. What the hell are you in Europe doing it for? Wait a minute. It's the president of the United States. Bring your ass back home and do that. You go across the ocean. You on the world stage. That is not a time to be disrespectful.
You're getting the ball revved up here, man. All right, I got
time for that.
I get you. Couple of quick hits. I'm gonna let you bounce. Don't expand too much. Don't expound too much. Is Cat soft?
What
is Cat soft? Carl Anthony Towns. Is he soft?
I don't want to do that to him. Let me tell you why.
Go ahead. But keep these quick. I'm going to do a little quick hits here.
He plays the way he plays. See, to me, you soft when you punk out once resistance is in front of your face. Cat could be playing BT and would still pull up for three rather than post you.
Yeah.
He's always been that guy.
He's not deviating from who he was.
He's not deviating from what he is.
I got you.
That's why I don't want to say that about him.
Okay.
But I wish he could get physical, but I don't think he has the knees to deal with it. And I think an leg streak to deal with it. And I think that's a problem.
You think the Knicks would be in a better spot for a championship if Tom Thibodeau's still coaching the Knicks?
Yes. But
I got to tell you one thing. Let me jump in. One thing to Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, it's not fair to Mike Brown because we haven't seen him coach the Knicks in the playoffs yet.
I agree. I'm with you. And that's going to render the answer, within the next couple of months, and we'll have the concrete answer. Yeah. I'm not trying to be unfair to Mike Brown. And I was okay with the hire. Innovative offensive guy, really good resume, 2-time coach of the year, Warriors assistant championship. Like, I respect the man's resume. I'm not here to clown or shade Mike Brown. Sure. But when he hugged Draymond, bring that shit to the tunnel. After Draymond was going on Draymond's podcast and just eviscerating Cat time and time again. Once he did that, I lost respect for Mike Brown, and I believe that whatever respect Cat still had for Mike Brown, I think that's out the window. I think that damage is irreparable.
I appreciate that reminder because I had no problem with it when he hugged Draymond, but
really,
I had forgot about Cat.
Yeah,
I was just thinking he was the former assistant coach on Golden State.
No,
blah blah blah. I wasn't thinking about Draymond when at Cat. You're right about that. You're right about
that. Can you imagine Jeff Van Gundy hugging Zoe after Larry Johnson? I mean, come on. There's just certain things you gotta. And I know the word.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying, without that, if it was just based on the premise that if there was no Draymond clapping at Cat and you just saw Draymond, and that's no big deal to me. But considering what he had just said about Cat, you're right about that.
All right, I know MJ for you, like me, is number one. Give me 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't have to be in the order, but I prefer order. But MJ 1, round out
number 2, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 3.
Yep.
And then after that, everything's a crapshoot.
Not Magic. For you?
Magic could be in the top
Not Bird?
5.
Not Bird?
Bird could be.
Come on.
Kobe.
No, Kobe's not top 5.
For me personally,
Kobe's not top 5.
I would say this to you. He's not because of MJ stuff. But let me say this to you. I got Tim Duncan as the best power forward of all time.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay. So where does the top power forward of all time belong in the top 5?
Top 10. Well, no. Well,
the game has changed. Back in the day, it would have been easy.
Yeah,
now that the game has changed, we have to look at it differently, right? Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard. Let me throw this twist at you.
Go ahead.
Steph Curry is a point guard, but he's not really a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why you have to look at Steph Curry as a comparison of Magic Johnson.
Go ahead.
Magic Johnson changed the game, and you had to keep your head on a swivel because he's the greatest passer we've ever seen. 6'9" and can make the passes that he can make, can lead a fast break, stuff like that.
No doubt.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God ever created. His movement without the basketball forces you to keep your head on a swivel just as much as Magic Johnson did.
That's true.
So the impact that he has on the game because of his marksmanship combined with his movement without the basketball that has hospitalized guys. They literally had to go to the hospital for oxygen after playing against him because he runs so much. That kind of stuff. Wait a minute now. That's equal, if not more of a profound impact than even the great Magic Johnson. But I'll still give it to Magic because Michael Jordan has told me repeatedly, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard he's ever seen in his life.
I agree. It's magic, man. It's magic.
It's magic.
It's magic, but really Magic, 6'9" innovator, long pass. Okay. But
and point guards get other people involved, which is a very, very big deal. The quintessential point guard.
There's no doubt. But you can make the case that Curry has actually done more for the game, for the growth of the game than Magic.
Correct.
I mean, you got Jokic coming out as a 7-footer shooting, same with Cat. So that's an interesting one. I would even submit this to you. In my opinion, the most underrated player in the history of the game is Hakeem Olajuwon. Nobody throws him in on any list. It's Hakeem.
You know what's held? Nobody said this, but you know what's held against Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon?
Personality.
The fact that he never had to go against Jordan. Remember his first championship, they beat the Knicks. Jordan retired.
And he destroyed Patrick, by the way. He destroyed Patrick in that series.
Right. Absolutely. His second championship was when Jordan came back with 17 games left in the regular season. And then they lost to Orlando in the playoffs.
Correct.
And then it was after that Jordan three-peated. I think if Michael Jordan in 1996, if Houston had gone to the finals the following year, and Hakeem Dream Olajuwon went up against Jordan, and he had beaten Jordan, I think we would be talking about him as top 5 all time.
That's interesting. Okay. Stephen A. ever thrown down a dunk? I know you could shoot because you let us all know that, I could shoot. shoot. We know you could shoot. We get that. Yeah. You ever throw one down at the park, even if it's a little squeaker? You ever dunk?
I did. I didn't have hops like that. I could jump good enough to dunk. But I was really in love with shooting. I didn't, because I wasn't a Skywalker. I didn't care about dunking nearly as much.
Okay.
I did it a few times just to show that I could do it. And I needed a running start
to
be fair.
Sure.
But I was really, I loved shooting the basketball.
Oh, I know you did. Who was the best player you played against in high school?
Me personally,
it was like same league, same PSAL. You went PSAL.
Boo Harvey.
Oh, Boo Harvey.
and
St.
Sweet Pea-
John's.
and Sweet Pea Lloyd Daniels.
Lloyd got shot. No, Lloyd
Yeah,
Spurs. I mean, Lloyd
was all
Daniels.
world. But
Yes.
Lloyd and I played. We came out of IS-8, played in summer league together as teammates.
Oh, did you really?
At IS-8, yeah. Yeah, Sweet Pea. Lloyd Daniels.
What was he like? Can you tell when he was young that there was problems on the horizon?
It was the shooting. He was hampered. He was one of the greatest players I've ever seen. I'll go as far as to say this. When Lloyd Daniels was healthy, when you talked about him, you talked about magic.
Yeah, I remember.
You thought you was it, but he could shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And not only could he shoot, he was an all-world player. Not only could he shoot, but remember how they talked about Len Bias before he died?
At Maryland, of course.
And that's how they would have been talking about Lloyd Sweet Pea Daniels. He was spectacular.
Wow. I'm surprised that you put Kareem 3. See, to me, Kareem should I think Kareem should be 2. It's your list. It's subjective. So I respect it.
Greatest resume. Resume-wise, you're right.
Well, but what else matters?
But
Steve, the resume is what you do. What else matters?
But we're not just going by resume, because if we were going by resume, he ain't Bill Russell.
Well, from a team perspective, he's not. But statistically, individual, he crushes Bill Russell.
But I'm telling you, when I look at Kareem, and I almost feel like centers should be in a different category, because you're not dribbling the ball 94 feet. You're not playing defense 94 feet. There's a lot that you do that's in a condensed area, as opposed to the whole court being utilized,
especially
the way every other position has done it.
Especially back then. With the centers right in the paint.
LeBron, Jordan, and everybody else. And that's why I have LeBron at 6'9",
all right,
250, 260, doing all the things that he's done, going to 10 NBA finals, winning four-time league MVP, doing all the things that he's done. I have to give it to LeBron at number 2.
Yeah, but how many would LeBron have? Now, we'll never know. But, I mean, if LeBron didn't start jumping around with these super teams, would LeBron have any? Let's be real. Come on, he's got to be penalized for that, Steve.
Yeah. But the flip side is Jordan didn't have to jump around because he had him there with Pippen.
Yeah,
Pippen, and then you had Horace Grant with Craig
and then Rodman
and Paxson, and then after that you had Rodman,
Kerr,
all of these guys. So again, Jordan didn't have to jump around. Then when we look at Steph Curry, do you have 4 rings, but do you have 2? If it were not for Kevin Durant,
I think that they would have. That's debatable. And he had Klay Thompson and he had young Draymond. I get that. And even Iguodala, the first championship. I actually think the answer to that is yes. I can't prove that. Do you think that it's debatable that he might not have all 4 if not for KD?
I think that LeBron beats them one of those times.
Maybe. All right, man.
When you look, let me put to you, LeBron with Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Remember, you had both of them when you lost those 2 times to Golden State because they couldn't offset Kevin Durant.
Yep.
Without Kevin Durant, I think you win one, if not both of those titles, if you're LeBron in Cleveland.
All right, I got to bounce this at you. Last thing. So you're already hearing the rumblings, and I'm sure you have some intel. So tell me what the deal is. I don't want him. I don't want LeBron on the Knicks. I have zero interest. I would rather, you're going to think that I'm full of shit. I would rather lose and be championship-less. I've already been champion. I'm 52. I'm championship-less as it is because I was born the year that they won, so I didn't see in 73. So I would rather maintain my dignity and not and remain winless and championship-less than beg LeBron to come here and then be beholden to LeBron, who's all about LeBron. I would rather have no championships than have to look and bow down at the almighty, self-gloating LeBron. I want no piece of that. Do you? You're a Knicks fan?
I feel the same way you do, but for different reasons. He's 41. He's in his 23rd year. These are his twilight years. That's not the LeBron I wanted. I wanted the LeBron from 2010 that elected to take the talents.
Me too. I was begging for it.
What I would want is Giannis. I want Giannis at the Garden.
You think that's going to happen?
I've been so upset talking about Mikal Bridges. I have no problem with Mikal Bridges and $150 million he's getting. He deserves that in today's NBA economy. What I have a problem with is the 7 damn picks you gave up for him. 4 unprotected, another first round in 2025, a first round in 2026, a second rounder as well. Damn it. They gave up 1 pick to get Luka in LA. They gave up a bunch of second rounders to get Kevin Durant to Houston. How in the hell do you give up 6 first-round picks? Because remember, it's a swap.
Go on.
How do you compromise 6 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Well, you tell me. I mean, you got to know Leon Rose.
I know why. I know why.
Is that a New York tax? Tell me. I mean,
Yes,
what is it?
Here's the deal.
Tell me.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The Nets and the Knicks had an unwritten rule. We don't do business with each other. Like the Nets ain't trying to do the Knicks any favors.
No,
So understand that Jalen Brunson, and I'm not accusing him of being in the office and saying give up and making a deal for the Knicks. I'm not accusing Jalen Brunson of that. But here's what's inescapable. You are the face of the franchise. You're going to go down as one of the all-time great Knicks, especially if you win a championship. You might go down as the greatest Knick ever if Jalen Brunson delivers a championship to New York. You're the face of the franchise. You're in position to wait a year and sign a 5-year, $270 million deal. You give the Knicks a break
big time
by signing it the year before at 4 years, $156 million. So you saved the Knicks $113 million.
Yep.
You didn't do that for nothing. You did that so they could go get your boy. And that you started at Villanova with and won a couple of national championships. My point is that you're Jalen Brunson. Look, man, go get my boy. I got it. But you got to monitor the situation enough to say, wait a minute now, don't give up the farm for him. We trying to win a chip. We need some assets to make sure we're going to be in a position to get more of what we wanted. What I blame Jalen Brunson for, if nothing else, is negligence. You ain't stay on top of it as the face of the franchise to make sure that too much wasn't given in order for them to get Mikal Bridges. Now, one has nothing to do with the other, but I'm on First Take. Now, I can tell you this, Brandon. There's a lot of decisions that get made that I don't make, but it's because I'm overruled, not because I'm not informed. I know everything. You know about what's going on at First Take.
I hope so.
Maybe not day one, but it ain't gonna happen without me knowing before it happens. Okay, and I believe that principle is applicable to every superstar in every sport. Don't tell me you didn't know. You LeBron James, don't tell me you didn't know that Anthony Davis was getting traded. I don't believe that. Okay, don't tell me you didn't know that Kentavious Caldwell Pope and Caruso and all of these guys wouldn't be brought back. Don't tell me you didn't know that. Don't tell me that Kobe didn't know that Pau Gasol was coming before he arrived. Don't tell me that. I don't believe that. Stars know something, maybe not immediately, but eventually before it happens. And if you're Jalen Brunson and you knew that, you got to sit up there and say, hey, Leon, I want my boy. I want him bad. But don't give up the farm for him now.
Yeah.
Because we need these assets in order to continue to prove the team so we can make a run. Instead, what we're looking at is a Knicks team that in all likelihood is stuck with what they have unless Giannis flat out demands to Milwaukee, I want to get traded to the Knicks. Unless he does that, we're screwed.
I know.
We don't have the assets to get what we needed to because you gave it up for Mikal Bridges.
Nor do we have.
That's my issue.
I get that. Nor do we have the players to win a championship without, Giannis basically holding Milwaukee's feet to the fire. Like, Knicks aren't winning the championship this year.
No.
Knicks are a good team. They're nothing
Good
more.
team.
They're inconsistent. They don't even know what their identity is yet at this point.
Right.
I'd love to be dead wrong. I'd be on the air.
So would I.
God, no, they're not going to win the championship. All right, final thing, literally, make it quick, man. We know how you raise, Queens, Hollis, the Run DMC. We also know that you were a Georgetown guy back in the day. We all know that. You told me that. You were
love to hold you. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I get. If you're growing up in the 80s and you're a black kid in New York, even though you might love St. John's, I totally get it, man. We're at least rooting for the Johnnies in the Sweet 16 against the you. Okay,
bro, right. I really, really was. First of all, I love Rick Pitino. I'm so proud of him.
He's the man.
What a coach.
Yeah,
what a freaking coach, man. I mean, Ejiofor and those broads, they showed up. It was sad that they lost to Duke. You got to make a shot here. There. That's the problem with the Johnnies, man. It's always a shooting issue. But I'm glad that Pitino got his extension.
Yes,
he's resurrected basketball at St. John's, back-to-back Big East regular season and conference titles. I mean, who would have thunk it? I mean, I just can't say enough about the job that he's doing. And I really believe that Rick Pitino is going to bring a national championship to St. John's.
Oh, man.
I think he's going to pull it off.
God,
I really do, because I think that he's just a marksman away. Everything else, you're not going to be soft playing for him.
No.
Okay.
No.
You're not gonna lack the ability to defend playing for him.
True.
Okay. You're gonna have some skill sets. You're gonna be rough and rugged. You know what? He's basically a collegiate version of Tom Thibodeau. Because Tom Thibodeau, you're gonna fight. Think about the Knicks that we've watched.
Yeah.
They gonna go down, but they gonna scratch. They look like they scratch your damn eyes out before they went down.
Yeah.
They ain't going out like that. They gonna fight. That's what we saw from the New York Knicks. That's what we're hoping we'll see this time around. That is what you see from a Rick Pitino team. I knew him and Duke would come down to the wire. I knew it because it's Rick Pitino. But I'm very, very proud of what they've done at St. John's. And, of course, I was rooting for them. I picked them to beat Duke.
Yeah.
I thought they were
I'm just checking, man. I'm just making sure you didn't.
against UConn.
Yeah, I
in the
know.
Elite Eight.
I know.
That was the game I wanted.
Oh God, me too. I was there. I did the game. I was in DC. You don't think I wanted UConn again? By the way, just to clarify this, I can't let this one slide. I understand it's a loose comparison, and I know you didn't mean it this way. It was a compliment. Don't disrespect Pitino by saying he's like Tom Thibodeau. I mean, come on, Tom Thibodeau can't shine. I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the grittiness.
I know Tom Thibodeau can't. Let's just get it straight. Come on,
he can't.
He can't shine Rick's shoes.
Rick Pitino's a national champion at Kentucky and Louisville.
There we go.
17 years apart.
There we go.
1996 to 2013.
And in Greece,
he's not. Tom Thibodeau never went to the finals. But I'm just saying that the grit that you see.
I know what you
mean. You knew St. John's was going to represent.
No doubt.
You knew they weren't going to bow out like that. You know, and that's what I'm saying. It's like when you know, because of coach and what he represents, you know you're gonna be in a battle. Like I was watching Tom Izzo the other day at Michigan State. They looked like a decent team, good enough, whatever, and they're going up against these cats, and ultimately they ended up falling to UConn in the Sweet 16. And all I found myself that they were down 15, and then the next thing you know, they were down 1.
Oh, Tom Izzo's awesome. I love him.
You know.
Yep.
They ain't going out like that.
Yep.
That's Pitino.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're not going out like that. And then here's the last thing, and this is a testament to Pitino.
Okay.
You get annihilated by UConn.
Oh, yeah,
crushed. A couple of weeks earlier.
Yep.
You turn around and you annihilate them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. It's like, I could see Pitino now. You see what happened to you last time?
Mm-hmm.
You going to let that happen again?
Oh,
That's what y'all going to do?
Yeah.
He ain't having it.
Nope.
You know, and it's like, that's what you want in a coach. What I'm looking for in Mike Brown is an established identity.
He don't have it.
Can play.
Be looking all night.
Can play.
You don't have it.
You know they got the talent. What I want to see is an identity from the New York Knicks where it says, yo, because of that dude standing on the sideline, we ain't going out like that.
Not happening.
That was Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah,
I'm looking for that from Mike Brown.
You want it from Mike, but we're not going to get it from Mike. Listen, bro, longer than I thought. Incredibly generous with your time, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know that. You know I've got great respect for you, great admiration, and I think even more importantly, great, true, sincere happiness for what you've accomplished. I know that you hear this stuff a lot, and you know you're this titan of industry, but I knew you when that rise, when that meteor, like that little star was just starting to flash across the sky. And the way you comport yourself, not only as a broadcaster, but as a human, as a person of faith, as a person of decency, you're making both your parents proud. You are making your sisters proud. You're making your neighborhood proud. You're making your network proud. And I am thankful and proud and honored to still call you a friend and a confidant. And I don't want to make it seem like we talk all the time, but anytime I've got to run something by you of a serious nature, this man gets back to me. Hey, I don't know if my contract's going to extend it. What do you think what should get extended? What should I do? Or I'm thinking about maybe launching this. What do you think? And this man that you're looking at right here always has time to give me a sincere answer. So I love you for that. And I appreciate you for that. And I always have, and I always will, man.
You know, you're my brother from another mother, man. We go back a long ways, and we ride and die. That's what we do, man. You know I'm here for you. Got nothing but love for you, man. Always.
You're the best. Oh, one more thing. You got. I said this though, but you know, I need an official on the record answer. Now, you're gonna take this the wrong way. You got to do something with the hair, bro. You have to. You got to. No, you got to, Steve. You got to. I was saying this to you in 04, and you'd say, "But BT, I don't have this big block head like you, like Popeye. You're like, I got a little tiny pea head, man."
That's true. But here's the thing, BT.
Come
Here's
on.
the big thing, BT. It's been this way for a decade.
Yeah, but it's getting
It ain't
higher
getting
and
worse. It's just
higher
the
and
same.
higher
It just,
and
it hasn't gotten any worse. It's still
come on,
here.
it's a little
It's still
worse.
here. There's enough back there.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the George Jefferson look. It don't bother me.
George
You know, the ladies
Jefferson,
ain't
man.
complaining.
I'm sure
good.
they're not. I'm sure.
I'm good.
You don't get
I'm
a little
good.
makeup there to lengthen that thing down?
I
You
know, right? I know. Yeah,
Do you get a little makeup? Yes or no?
I'm still
on.
not. Makeup here?
No, makeup for the hairline, not for the face.
No. I just put some top on the side. That's it. That's all. I'm good, man.
I believe you, bro. You're more than good. You're great. You are great, and you are truly this generation's Cosell. And I mean that. You don't even have to respond because I know you're a humble guy, even though some people might think that you're not. You are incredibly humble. So don't even respond to that. But when I teased you on this show saying I had Stephen A., that was one of the things that I said. You are really this generation's Cosell, and for a lot of reasons, maybe even more. So keep doing your thing, bro. And listen, anytime you want me on First Take, I'll come. I'll mix it up. Let's go. Like, bring it on. I'll take Ryan Clark. Anytime you want to start mixing things up, let's go.
I'll make it happen.
I love you, man. Thank you, Steve.
Right, same here, bro. Be good.
All right, man. The great, the absolutely not good, the absolutely great Stephen A. I mean, what do we got? We're at an hour and 50 minutes with that gentleman. When I tell you, he is literally bouncing from First Take to Sirius to his other show to meeting after meeting after meeting for his production company. I told you we get him on the show, and that was not disappointing. That man is somebody that I don't like him. I love that guy. I trust him. I believe in him. And he truly is the best. He's the best at what he does. So massive shout out to Stephen A. for making it happen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like it, subscribe it, get the traction, get it out there. BT Unleashed. I will catch you soon, obviously, right here. See ya.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host,